Right. Yeah, please go on.
Yeah, so and I started learning more about it last year. So when we were all home, and I was freelancing in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and in that duration, I was exploring that field, but I did not start investing in it, or I did not get too interested because my income was fluctuating and so on. But when I
Mm-hmm.
got my full-time job last year, which is 2021, then I kind of started to understand stock market, and then so I saw that I wanted to build a portfolio which is a bit which I can hold for a long time, and it also has some risk involved in it, so that I I invest wisely, and if I make money, then if I make good amount of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started in the stock market, and then I started exploring cryptocurrency, and I don't invest much in it. I'm whenever there's like a dip, or whenever there's some news of cryptocurrency falling, then I invest some money into it, and then I take it out sometimes. So yeah, that's how my journey started. Mostly in the last year, I started learning about it, and through Twitter and other smaller communities, I started to um, follow them and see what the trends are.
So, okay, so were you also aware of the cryptocurrencies way back before 2020? Or how was it like?
Not a lot of them. I had only heard of Bitcoin and Ethereum mostly, because those are the top ones. But I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know the concept behind them. I had heard of the term blockchain very, in passing since college. Um, in fact, I had been hearing about the term blockchain because there were a few people who were working in the blockchain. Who are doing projects in the blockchain system.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I heard of the term blockchain, but cryptocurrency and all these nuances of it, I started learning only in 2020.
Mm-hmm. So when was it when you first got to know about cryptocurrencies or the blockchain? When was it that time?
Uh,
Exactly in years,
um,
maybe,
mhm.
if you can say.
Yeah, yeah, I think must have been 2018. So I was watching the show called Silicon Valley,
Mm-hmm.
and in that they had mentioned like Bitcoin once or twice.
Oh,
So, and mining and crypto mining. So they
okay.
had a few episodes of that. So I
Uh,
had heard of it, but
hmm.
I got to know more from watching that show, and then dug deeper into it. Now that I can think back.
Yeah. So at that time, during 2018, when you first got to know about that,
Yeah,
what did you think of it?
yeah. See, there was not a lot of you know information floating around about it,
Hmm.
and I myself was caught up in my own life, so I didn't
Hmm.
investigate further into it.
Yeah.
So I had just graduated in 2018. So I was
Hmm.
looking for jobs. I was
Hmm.
looking for other courses. So I didn't look much into that issue, or that topic, in fact. So, and it was
Hmm.
not a very well talked about topic as well. So, and when once I joined like communities like Twitter, and you know that Twitter has a way of amplifying things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I joined Twitter in 2021, that's when I got to know the most about it. I had heard things about cryptocurrency and how people invest in it, and so on. But when I joined Twitter is when I started to learn more about it, as people
Hmm.
were selling NFTs at the start of
Oh.
2021, and I got to know about NFTs and Web3. Web3 space is something that I got aware of in
Hmm.
2021
Hmm.
only through like following people, or getting to know people on Twitter. So
Hmm.
there are a few people who actively post their NFTs, and uh, people bid on them, and they post about how well their NFTs are performing. And these
Hmm.
um, I don't know what we call them, NFT, like they launch a group of NFTs together, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so that is something that a lot of people were doing on Twitter, like
Mm-hmm.
bored apes or lazy apes or something of that sort.
Mm.
So got to know about Ethereum chain more from there, and then so one more cryptocurrency I got to know of was Matic,
Oh.
through Twitter itself, because there was a person who has a startup, and it's based on, like, they're working in the
Mm.
Matic space,
Mm.
and he contacted me for like a design role. That I contacted him, in fact.
Oh,
So
okay.
I contacted him for a design opening in his company, and then he told me about what they are building and
Oh,
things
that's
like that.
great.
So yeah, and now I think in the past 6 months, the Web3 space has kind of boomed, and people are talking about it a lot. So I just keep reading threads about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so new avenues will open. I think even in India, there is a company that's
Mm-hmm.
building metaverse, something similar on that concept, in which I think you can
Uh-huh.
buy real estate, lands, buildings, and
Mm,
even they have NFTs within that
mm,
uh,
mm.
metaverse of some sort. So yeah,
Yeah, I don't know which company it is, but I mean, I must have heard it in the news. Now that you were telling me, I'm hearing it for the first time. That
Zion
is
was someone told me that its name is Zion was something like that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, I think for me, I think it would be around 2013 when I used to watch Big Bang Theory. So during
Okay.
in
Okay.
that TV show, I think
Mm-hmm.
Sheldon had mentioned about bitcoins that he had purchased some bitcoins, and then
Okay.
at that time, I think Bitcoin was just rising. I think it might have been in thousands of rupees at that time.
Okay.
So for me, I
Mm-hmm.
think I started reading more about it on Quora. Many of my friends were on
Mm-hmm.
Quora, so I used to get uh, updates on my board that some of my friends have liked
Okay.
this Quora, and they had upvoted it, that answer,
Okay.
or maybe or have written some answer. So at that time, I got to know about it, but I think I thought at that time ki it's something like a fad that it will pass on, something not much of intrinsic value.
Yeah.
For me at that time, I did not pay much attention to it. So but I think for
Got
me
it.
the trigger was when I saw people making money out of it in
Okay. So
2018. Yeah,
do you invest in crypto yourself?
yeah, I started in 2018, and since then,
Okay.
at that time, I guess I had invested more. I think most of my money.
Okay.
I don't invest now
Okay.
these days because I think I had invested quite a lot of money that time. So
Okay.
I'm maintaining it just these days.
Okay. That's nice.
Okay, so what do you mainly think about cryptocurrency? Mainly, what do you feel about it? Does it have any intrinsic value, or it is just like fiat currency that every country has?
Mm-hmm. See, the point of crypto, since it's based on like the concept of blockchain, is that everyone, I mean, it's a decentralized currency, right?
Yeah.
So I think, in its current form, so here's what I think. Okay, so for example, in the currency that we currently have, like physical
Hmm.
notes and the fiat currency that we have,
Yeah.
that's also accumulated with a set of people, right?
Hmm.
So this being decentralized hasn't helped a lot,
Hmm.
essentially, because it's following the same path, that there's only a few people uh, who have accumulated a lot of it,
Hmm.
and who are making gains, but it's inaccessible to a lot of them still,
Hmm.
even though it has been in circulation since 2013 or 2010. So Bitcoin was launched in 2008 or 9, if I remember then. Um, but it has still been largely inaccessible for the people, the masses, basically. So I just think that it's following the same trend, instead of, like, even though it is decentralized, but I think it's following the same trend.
Don't you think in future in India right now the environment is way more better than it was maybe 5 years or 6 years ago? The ecosystem is building up. more exchanges are
Mm-hmm.
coming up, and you can see the awareness level rising because of various
Yeah,
factors. Even in the news or popular media, social media,
yeah,
now these days you can see many advertisements, posts about
yeah,
something related to crypto
yeah,
space. So I
yeah,
don't you
yeah.
think more startups are joining this the space, and the ecosystem will more become more conductive in future in India?
See, it will definitely become like more widespread, but so the point that I feel about decentralization should be to get to the people who have not had access to,
Hmm. Hmm.
making money or getting out of their current situation, because a lot
Hmm.
of people have gotten out of their current situation by,
Hmm.
holding some coins and then making a, fortune out of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been largely inaccessible for people lower strata.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So as you said that you started investing in 2020. So are you, so you are an occasional trader. You trade
Yeah,
when the
no.
market goes up, right?
Mhm. I started investing like last year, not 2020.
Okay. So uh, what do you feel that crypto market or crypto trading is, how it is different from stock trading? In your opinion, what are
Mm.
its uniqueness?
Mhm. And the first thing that it keeps on happening over the clock. Like, it doesn't stop when, I mean, there's no
Hmm.
like bell that rings and it
Yeah.
stops and starts. I think
Hmm.
it's really volatile in that sense, because the price fluctuates throughout the day. So you have to be a bit more strong-hearted than investing in equity,
Hmm.
because you might have to check the trends every few hours if you have invested in a very um, volatile coin,
Yeah.
is if
Okay.
I can call it that,
Hmm.
right? Second is, I think, when the options are a lot more. So for example, you can um, get to know about a particular crypto's trajectory from the news that's floating around, or from the companies that are coming up. But with the stock market, you have to do a lot of analysis if you have to, do a short-term trade.
Hmm.
For example, if you have to do a short-term trade for, say, X company in equity, the stock market, then you'll have to study some related sectors to it, right? But I think in crypto, you can see the general trend in social media and other places, and there are a few communities also that keep discussing it. So the community is not as spread out as the stock market's community, because there's
Hmm.
a lot of people on YouTube, or who pose themselves as experts, who kind of give tips or things like that, and then
Yeah.
they move the entire market. So I think in that way, it's a bit unique that there's no one person that can change the course of it. There has to be a very conjointed effort, or a very synchronized effort to move the market. So I think it's in that case it's unique.
Hmm. It can be easily manipulated. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
yeah,
when
in
you,
my yeah.
yeah, so last year when you started investing in crypto,
Hmm.
so what was your
Yeah.
trigger at that time?
Um. See, there was some. So as I mentioned, that there was some money that I had saved up, and I was already investing in stock market,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, just money to invest or diversify my portfolio, and um, a few friends also had been investing in it, and they were they were not seeing gains as such, because the market was very volatile. Even now,
Hmm.
it's very volatile,
Yeah.
but otherwise, I think the trigger generally was that I had to do it at some point. I had some money, like some disposable income, to invest in a very high risk market. So I thought, what better time to do it than when the dip arrived.
Okay, so can I correlate this this high, when you said
Mhm.
high risk market? So
Yeah,
so high risk markets are normally volatile. So
yeah, yeah,
in volatile markets, you can make money, huge money in short time, and also lose money
yeah,
in short time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so making more money in short time was your motivation. And
No,
even if
no.
you
So
had
I
lost
don't.
that money, it would have been okay
Mhm.
for you. So was this the motivation?
No, no. So my motivation was to. So I had seen with the stock market that sometimes I had made trades when the market was at an all-time high, and then I saw the share price later, a few days later, and then the share price had gone down.
Hmm.
So just just the fact that I didn't I didn't wait long enough, or I didn't kind of wait for it to fall, that also triggered that if it has fallen, then now is the good time to invest in it. So I think that can be a reason that I understood how to invest in market, like a
Hmm.
high risk market like equity. So
Hmm.
I kind of jumped ship when the market was down in crypto as well.
Okay, so yeah. And before investing, did you also at that time, build up your knowledge about investing in particularly in crypto markets?
Mhm.
How did it go
um
at that time?
yeah. And mostly, see, I I prefer asking people who are investing instead of going online and then
Hmm.
spending time and investigating about things.
Okay.
So there's a lot of friends that invest in crypto,
Hmm.
and as I mentioned, that a lot of them also have their own NFTs,
Hmm.
and
Oh,
and
okay.
they put it up on the Ethereum chain,
Hmm.
on platforms like Foundation and OpenSea. So yeah, I mean, I asked them that what might be the good time, or not a good time, but I generally ask them when I have to invest, and they just guide me to a few. They just tell me a few things that have been going on. So I don't follow it a lot. I don't follow the market a lot, but I just call up few friends who are invested in it.
That's great. Uh, Bhujang is here. Bhujang,
Okay.
can you hear us?
I'm just paying attention. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So if you want to ask him something, or just you can just. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, so you started last year only, right?
Yeah.
And I heard that you're using all of your stock market knowledge and same strategies, I
Mhm.
can say, in the crypto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you find both things are similar, like in terms of using strategies? Because crypto is kindly a volatile market, you can't really compare it with stock. And at the
Yeah.
same time, crypto is not centralized, like
Yeah.
there are not governing body over it. But how
Mhm.
you can find the balance in between, like what similarities you got there?
And the mm, fundamental analysis is mostly similar. If you uh, not the analysis, but the charts that you read, it's mostly similar. If the market is falling, then
Mhm.
it will keep falling till a certain point, and then it will come up. So those trends, I mean, are similar, and and you should invest in when the market is at a low, so that you don't regret later that you could have earned like 100 or 200 rupees on two or three
Mhm.
stocks and then exited. So these are similarities, and the other similarities I would say, um, I can't think of any right now. Mm,
Okay, so it's
yeah,
the
so these
basically
two.
it's the market.
Yeah.
Sorry, also basically it's the mentality of people, like how they behave, whether it is crypto or stock, you can say.
Yeah, you can say that, but with crypto, I think it's more so. This is something that I've noticed, that since crypto hasn't been around for like 60 years, which the stock market
Mhm.
has been around for, so people are more, wary of keeping their money if the when the market is falling. For example, when you see a dip in crypto, then there's a very huge dip. But in stock markets, people have seen that before. People have gone through those cycles before, and there are people who have been investing for like 30, 40 years as well, so they know that it will come back, it will bounce back. But in crypto, with every news or every um, social media trend, the
Mm-hmm.
market goes up and down a lot, because the general sentiment of people is not, they haven't seen they
A
haven't
lot.
seen they haven't seen a lot till now, that it doesn't have a very long history. And also affected by not only things happening in the country, but happening across the world. For example, the Russia Ukraine conflict, it
Right.
really affected the crypto markets, right? It also affected Indian stock market, but but other events, like smaller events which are on country specific, those don't affect like the Indian stock market. They would marginally affect it. But since it's a global currency, or it's a global decentralized, I mean, platform, then
Mm-hmm.
any small thing or any you know event in a particular country can also affect the prices.
Also, there is like a lot of communities regarding the stock market. Like there is some
Yeah.
Reddit channels and some Telegram channels. What do you think? Like how
Yeah.
they affect, like how much they affect on the deeper rise of the crypto market? Like what's your take on that? How
See,
influential they are? So you might have
hmm,
following some channels or some YouTubers for that matter.
yeah, so I don't, no, not really. I don't follow a lot of channels. As I mentioned, I only talk to friends, because um, if I go on searching channels, or if I go on Reddit groups, then it's a rabbit hole that I'll get into, and I'll not end up doing the thing that I have to do, which is invest, right? So I
Mhm.
try to keep myself away from too much information. I just try to keep myself updated, but not
Yes.
dig deep, so that there's so you also get a you also become, so the inaction that comes in. So I want to act
Mhm.
more than I want to read. And yeah.
So,
Okay. So
yeah, listen.
yeah, go ahead.
Karan, the current holdings that you have right now with you, do you use them to buy
uh,
anything, or have you bought anything with it, like an NFT or any digital artifact,
mhm.
Or do you heard
or
like there are other
any
ways
material
you
things
can, yeah.
in India or
No, I
abroad?
haven't. No, I haven't bought anything. Um, Majorly because, like, the bids are really high, and
Mhm.
my portfolio isn't as diversified right now. So I'm planning to start start exploring more NFT platforms. So there's one NFT platform which is based on Tezos, which
Okay.
is another
Mhm.
cryptocurrency, and it's not as costly, or it's not as high priced as Ethereum or Bitcoin. So I'll try to explore that first, and then slowly come to bigger NFTs. So yeah, and not invested right now. I'm just holding it, or hodling it, as it's called.
Mhm. So, as you said that you always consult your friends for investing advice. So even if you
Yeah.
get an investment advice, do you check the market condition yourself, or do you do any kind of analysis before before putting in your money, or
Yeah,
is
so
it the only, yeah, yeah, please go.
mhm. I analyze. I mean, I have made up my mind by analyzing the market. Only then I consult them, that is it a good time or is it a bad time.
Okay.
It's not that I consult them and then I invest. It's mostly
Mhm.
the opposite.
Mhm. So how do you see how the uh, crypto market or the crypto future in India will play out? What's your take on that?
See, I am pretty hopeful and positive about it because there's a lot of, you know, people who are in college and they are making, and they are getting into, these DAOs, like decentralized, uh, I don't know what the full form is, but decentralized organizations basically. So they are building on the blockchain. They are building on top of
Mm,
different blockchains, which the
mm,
cryptocurrencies are also based on.
mm,
So I think there's a lot of so there'll be a lot of younger crowd that will come in, and I think there's a friend of mine who gets paid in crypto while working with a company. It's an NFT platform that he is building, and they pay him in crypto. It's stable coins like USDT and such, but he's getting paid in crypto. He's not getting paid in like rupees or dollars. So I'm very hopeful because a lot of people are coming in and they are seeing the actual change. So this friend of mine, he graduated last year.
oh,
Okay, and he has been selling and flipping NFTs also. So and and he's not from a very well off background or college, and still when he got into the crypto space, he has been making a lot of money just because he was early on,
yeah.
right? So I feel that it has a great future, and mostly people who are currently in college and who have these peer groups who are interested in it. And mostly I think I got to know about cryptocurrency and NFTs through Twitter. So I think these communities are going to make and break.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Suppose now or uh, in future, maybe in a year or
Yeah.
so, that you would have to invest a significant amount of money, which platform you will use, stocks or cryptos for
Mm,
investing most of your money, and why?
see, most I think, see, there's I started with this pattern last year that I'll invest X amount every month into stocks, right?
Mm,
And I think with stocks, my relation has been that I invest regularly in it as opposed to crypto because it's I try to see when the price would be right or when would be the right time. But with stocks, I keep investing because, as I mentioned, that it has had a long history, and there's a lot of companies that that if you invest in them, they will keep growing
mhm,
and so on. But with crypto, except a few top coins, um, I don't think there's a lot of other avenues that I would be able to explore. I mean, other coins that I would be able to explore. So, and there would be a split, but more
mm.
split will go to stocks, I think. But in future that might change because I didn't know about crypto a few years ago, and now I know and I'm investing in it. So in a few years, could be that I invest more in it.
Yeah. So even I think even these days there are some major coins, and those major coins have many issues. So there
Hmm.
are different startups. They are launching their own blockchain and their own tokens, and they are building solutions
Yeah.
for those coins. So for
Yeah.
Bitcoin, there are different tokens or cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin Cash. They are building on top of
Okay.
Bitcoin network, and they are solving
Okay.
inherent issues like
Hmm.
scalability, and speed of transaction. So
Okay.
even for Ethereum, cryptocurrencies like Matic, Polygon Matic,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
So it works on top of the Ethereum blockchain, and it's solving
Hmm.
problems
Yeah.
like scalability and speed of transaction. So
Yeah.
I think there are many possibilities in the market space, and if one
Hmm.
does thorough analysis of the market, I think there are many such coins which have huge
Yeah.
potential. Even with the launch of
Yeah.
metaverse, I think there are recently few metaverse coins they which were launched. I think they might have potential as well. So yeah, in my
Yeah,
opinion, yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. And the early adopters
yeah,
always
definitely.
have advantage.
Yeah, I think early adopters, I mean, make money, but I think people who stay in it for a longer time are the ones that, you know, get more
Yeah, so
benefits, which
so
is the
there is a
case with
saying.
everything.
So yeah, so there is a saying. Only invest that much money in crypto that you are comfortable with losing it.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
So do you have a similar mindset, or would you like to invest with a
See,
similar mindset?
see, so the approach that I'm following with both the stock market and the crypto market is I'm trying to take risks right now, which I mean, if even if they don't pay off, then
Hmm.
there won't be a lot to lose. Because I have seen people get as with age you kind of take less risks. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to build a portfolio or invest in places which are a bit risky. I mean, very voluntarily I'm doing that
Hmm.
because I want to build that appetite, and even if that falls later, then I would still have some uh, gains that I would have made, or I would have understood how things work quickly.
Yeah. Bhujan, would you like to ask him anything before we
Uh,
wrap up?
I think that those are enough insights, like
Hmm.
considering current thought.
So just an
And
ending question, Karan. So what
Yeah,
had been
yeah.
your overall experience with the crypto space, and what changes you suggest that should happen in future?
Uh, I think crypto space. I think it's like fledgling right now, and people are. It's mostly sometimes it's like a FOMO space also, that people mostly have fear of not investing or not getting onto that particular NFT or things like that. So I think uh, could be could be made more, as I mentioned, accessible to people of all social groups, and then I think it has great potential. I think it's all spread out, and there are a lot of communities that are running or that are educating you about it. There are a lot of cohort based courses also, but I feel it should be more accessible. The information and the access to investment should be more accessible, I feel, in the long run.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for Karan for your time.
Yeah, happy to help.
Yeah,
yes,
we can have a detailed
how
discussion even in college when we come.
yeah, I would love to
Ah,
actually,
Yeah.
because these
I
things
mean,
are like वो इंटरनेट पे पढ़ के तुम्हें ज्यादा समझ में नहीं आएगी, लेकिन हम अगर डिस्कस करें